What's going on, everybody? You already know what it is. It's your boy Jay Stash. I am back at it again. I'm live from Fan Expo Dallas, and where else but whatnot would we have the opportunity to hear the signature story of the legendary Jodi Benson. How are you today, Jodi?
I'm super great.
Yeah,
It's so much fun. You've got such a perfect radio voice.
Thank you so much.
Am I supposed to be signing while we're talking?
You can sign while we're talking for sure.
Do I show people what I'm signing?
You know what? That's the beauty of it. We've got, look at this, like the Wizard of Oz. Look. They've got everything happening in the background here. We've made it that much easier for you. And for everybody joining us here virtually, remember, if you couldn't make it to the con, Whatnot is giving you the opportunity to get all of these wonderful items. Now, I've been practicing this pun all day, so please bear with me. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Be sure to get my collection's complete. And it can be if you get these items here today. We're going to have items in the auction and the buy it now for you to add to that wonderful collection, okay? So if you're a fan of Jodi and can't make it to the convention, Whatnot is bringing it to you, all right? Jodi?
Great.
First question, how are you today? How are you feeling?
I feel great.
Yeah?
Yes, I'm very happy to be here.
Good.
Last time I was in Dallas, I think was 2018.
Okay.
So it's been 5 years.
Well, welcome back to the heat and the humidity.
I know.
And
the gnats.
Yeah, I feel like it's all day I'm doing this.
What the heck? Why are there bugs inside?
That's what I know.
I mean, I'm sitting here signing and they're like flying all over the place.
Right.
No, we still love Dallas.
Right,
No.
I do. I love Dallas. Don't get me wrong.
We're not trying to trash talk Dallas, even though they've got bugs.
At all. And for those of you wondering, I'm sitting with Jodi, the voice of the Little Mermaid,
and
of course,
you open that up. Thank you.
the Disney legend herself. And I guess
thank you.
You know, first things first. I mean, you've got a lot of fans in the lines, and people are so excited to see you. Does it ever get old being such a recognizable Disney princess?
No.
No, right?
No. I'm very grateful for my job, and it's not really a job. It's like a lifestyle for me. You know, I'm going on 36 years with the company, and I absolutely love every day that I go to work.
That's such an amazing feeling, right?
So it doesn't feel like work.
Yes.
It doesn't.
Literally turning the pay into passion, though, right? The passion into pay, rather.
That's right.
So that's got to be a lot of fun for you.
It is wonderful.
And now you've also voiced other characters as well. And one of the ones that I know, Barbie in Toy Story 2 and 3 as well. So you're the voice, you voiced that. And Weeble in Flubber.
Oh, yeah, you know that.
And Weeble, I'm not going to give my age out here, but I know a couple of things here. Weeble does go way back there. So Flubber was a favorite. But you've been voice acting for so long. How did you get your start here? How did the opportunity come about?
I was actually doing a Broadway show with Howard Ashman called Smile and Marvin Hamlish. And the show tragically closed after 6 weeks. And we had worked on it for nearly 4 years, I think. And so Howard felt sorry for all of us when the show closed and we lost our, paycheck.
Yeah.
And so he invited a handful of us to audition for The Little Mermaid that he was already working on.
Yeah.
And the executives had come to see me in the show.
Right.
And I sang a song called Disneyland that was written for my character.
Okay.
Beautiful I Want song. Beautiful song. So the executives came backstage and they were like, oh, we loved it. That's great. And I was like, oh, thanks so much. That's great. So on the way to the unemployment office, and this is true, I auditioned for The Little Mermaid.
Right.
And knowing that I would never get it and that...
The Little Mermaid?
Yeah, no. I'd never been behind a mic before. I'd never done voiceover. I'd never done nothing like that.
Right.
So it was just kind of like this obligatory, hey, we feel sorry for some of you girls that lost your job. So come in and have something to do that day. And
talk about what a way to make it up to you, though. Right?
So like a year later, and of course they didn't have our names or our photos attached to the reel-to-reel. And this is before you were born, but back in the day we used reel-to-reel, where you press play and record, and that's how we
How much the technology side of things has changed,
that's back in the 80s. So, so like a year went by, and I got a call saying it's kind of like between you and another girl. I'm like, oh, okay. And then more time went by, and all of a sudden I got the call. My agent said, you are Ariel. And I just specifically said, what is an Ariel? I don't know what you're talking about. Because so much time had gone by that I completely forgot about the audition.
Now, at this point, did you know what Ariel looked like already? Or like you hadn't had any, so there's nothing like that?
Nothing,
You're just going out there?
Yeah, I mean, all I had was a cassette tape of Howard singing Part of Your World.
Okay.
And a couple pages of dialogue.
Yeah.
And so that's what I auditioned with. You know, I just imitated him, basically. So it was an incredible job, and it was supposed to be a one and done. Thank you, sweetie.
Clearly
supposed to be
not
a
the
one
case.
and done, where like back in the day, like Walt's, the way that Walt handled animation was you were not really supposed to know who the voice was.
Right, okay.
You're supposed to just disappear.
Mm-hmm.
So before the film came out, like in September, they're like, okay, it's just going to run the credits at the end, and when kids or families get their VHS, they'll have to freeze it and stop to figure out who's
your
who,
name,
right? To see like who was this character, and so I just thought, well, that's it, one and done. That's great. I'm going back to Broadway. I was doing a Broadway show.
Right.
Actually, Sam Wright, who played Sebastian, and I were currently hi.
Hey Jay.
People just driving by. Hi,
Jason
friends.
Mewes, Kevin Smith.
Hello, celebrities.
Hello. As we're sitting here on display for everybody.
So I totally forgot what I was saying.
You were telling about you and Sam, right?
So they were Sam and I were doing 8 shows a week. We were doing Broadway. Thought, this is done. This is great. It's fine. We're going to do this little movie and that's it. And then in October, they called and they said, listen, we're going to send you on press tour.
Wow, okay.
I was like, press tour? Why?
Me?
Well, we have decided that we're going to let people know who you are.
Right.
And I was like, why? And they're like, well, this is what we're doing.
That speaks to the impact that it had so early on, right?
Well, and also, too, it's like the feature animation at Disney was in a huge transition.
Okay.
And so all of animation was actually not on the lot at the studios anymore. They were in these temporary housing trailers in Burbank on Flower Street. So they weren't even on property anymore on the studio set lot. So things were in huge transition, and there hadn't been a princess since 1959, which is Sleeping Beauty, Aurora. Thank you.
Yeah, gotcha.
And so I went on this press tour, and the movie came out, and then that was it. Everything changed.
Life changed before you knew.
Overnight.
Now, because
it was crazy.
You speak to how early on in the process you were. Did you have a lot of involvement in the creative part of it, or is it kind of just more like show up and be the voice, create this identity?
No, there was a huge collaboration because
wonderful. Okay, that's great.
We had Howard, we had Ron and John, our directors, and of course I had Glenn Keane, my lead head animator.
Okay.
So he was in the studio all the time that I was in the studio. And I'm doing these? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure I'm doing the right thing here.
Yeah, comic book collectors.
Okay.
Love it.
So it was incredible because she starts out more like a pencil sketch, just a tiny little pencil sketch, and she was blonde. She was blonde originally? She was blonde, yes.
I did not know that, okay.
Yes. See?
You're teaching me something.
You're going to learn things
The story
with
that you're giving me right now,
you're
I'm learning so
things.
much. Do you hear this?
Teach you.
Teach a thing or two. If you thought you weren't in class today, guess
That's
what?
Right.
Class is in session.
There's going to be a test.
I like that.
There's going to be a test later on.
I will not be taking that.
Get ready for a test. So then all of a sudden the movie comes out and it's crazy.
It is the hit, the smash hit.
And my life changed in an instant.
Now, are you a singer?
And here we are 36 years later still talking about it.
Are you a singer naturally? I mean, you were on Broadway, right? What? So, like, trained,
Did you just ask me that?
Some people get into voice acting and they're not actors. You know?
Did he just ask me that? Do you sing?
Do you understand? I asked Jodi Benson if she sings. Have you ever heard that before? Have you heard her sing? No? Look at this stuff. You want to sing it for me? No.
Oh, do you want to sing my song for that?
I sing. I was singing minutes before you got here.
Why don't you go ahead and sing for everybody?
I would be honored at the end of this interview to sing for you.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, people.
For me?
I'm so sorry.
Wow, Jodi. Look, I've disappointed Jodi.
We were friends.
We were?
And then you asked me.
I asked. I meant it in a way.
Did you sing?
I meant it in a way like.
Were you a singer?
No. This is all wrong here. I meant it in a way like. Did your singing approach to voice acting? You know what? My question has moved on at this point.
There's no backpedaling.
That's it.
From this. This is by far the best interview I've ever done.
Clip this moment. Is it?
Are you going to push the edit button?
No. This is live right now.
Back.
You know this. That's the best part. This is live. All of my mistakes are live on camera here. So, if you haven't been here with us, I'm here with Jodi.
Ooh, I'm loopy and it's Friday.
Apparently
it's only
she
Friday.
sings. So here we are.
Apparently I sing. It's almost as good as the question I got last week.
Look, he's laughing at me too. Go ahead, what is
of course, my friend, and he's my agent. He's laughing at you. He's not laughing with you.
Oh, it's at me.
He's
That's
laughing
good.
at you, not
Such
with
a
you.
comfort. Such a comfort.
Let me tell you, last week
ahead.
I had a person line up to ask me a question. What do I do at the top on this one?
Don't worry
What the
about
heck?
it. That's
I don't
fine.
know.
We'll take it
there
out of
it
Bella's
is.
check.
It's
Where
on the
is it?
floor. Sorry.
okay. Where is- oh,
Kicking
there
it
it
over.
is.
So I had somebody get in line to ask a question, and I was just like,
Okay.
here we go, question.
Yes.
And he said, so I just have to ask you, what is your favorite song from the movie The Little Mermaid?
Wow.
Now stop and think about that, everybody. Just stop and think about
What could it be?
what does Ariel do most of the film? I don't know. She loses her voice.
Yeah.
So what else does she sing?
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen
besides
Little Mermaid
Part
yet.
of Your World?
If you haven't seen Little Mermaid, she loses her voice. All right?
So I looked at him, and I mean, he was so serious. It's like, I just really want to know what is your favorite song to sing in The Little Mermaid?
More serious than me asking you if you sing?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I looked at him, and I'm like, what do you think? Just stop and think about it a second, my friend.
You see that? You're getting the real here with Jodi, all right? You're getting the real here.
It's Friday. Wait till
You-
Sunday
Oh,
at 5 o'clock.
I'm going to
It's
rebook you for
around.
Sunday at this. No matter of fact, what time are you leaving Sunday?
5 o'clock.
I'm going to book you for 4:30. We'll really see how good things get then. All right, sitting
I
here
don't
again
know.
with Jodi
I don't
Benson,
know.
live from Fan Expo Dallas. We're talking about...
We're talking about whether I know how to sing or not.
I did not ask Jodi. You're going to put it out there to the world that there's going to be a clip out there forever.
Do you just happen to sing? I don't know. Do you like to sing?
You hear this?
I'm sorry.
Jody's gonna be like, oh yeah, I'll do that again. That's the guy who asked me if I could sing, right? Yeah. Let's book him again. That's fun. I'm here with Jodi, and we're talking about. I've lost it all. Look, I'm just gonna throw my questions out the window here because at this point, she's running the show, so she's signing things and. Yeah, I'm just here.
Oh,
Jay Sash.
man,
That's
is
me.
awesome.
I'm glad that I'm able to give you such a good laugh, belly aching rather, after the day that you've had. So, how's that for energy? Are you getting all of these pictures of us laughing together? Good, because before she comes up, she
But
goes,
aren't
"I
you
need more
having
energy."
fun?
I'm having a great time.
I do have to say though.
Tell me.
I have to tell all my friends.
Tell me.
Last weekend in Philly, this man
Yes.
saved my life.
Yes, I did.
I was starving and there was no food.
Listen up,
It was
people.
like water and unsweet tea.
Mm-hmm.
You can have water and unsweet tea for 5 hours.
Mm-hmm. Delicious.
So, and I didn't bring my snacks.
Right.
So I am scoping and looking all over.
And then?
he has a, where is it?
It's actually over here. We've added more snacks.
Oh, okay.
I've
He
had
had
them
a
double
big
up on your
basket
snacks.
of snacks, and I think I ate 50% of them.
You know what? They were there for you, actually. Surprisingly, there was a
So
sign that
now
said
we're
for Jodi.
friends.
Are we?
We're
Now?
good.
Are we still
I
friends?
forgive you.
Do you?
I do.
You see? Whatnot?
forgive you.
In case you're wondering where these memorable moments go, this is where they are. True friendship, live streamed on Whatnot.
I forgive him if he just gave me snacks.
I've got
Peanut
more
butter
snacks. then.
crackers.
Get
They
the
were
snacks.
awesome.
We have more anything with peanut butter back there.
Peanut
Make
butter
sure that we get it.
crackers. Those were the best. They
Oh
were
my
so good.
goodness. Now, obviously with the
purple.
live action movie coming out, describe to me the
Oh my
feeling when you get the
gosh.
call that this is happening.
It's happening. I'm so
How
excited.
amazing was it?
Have you seen the movie?
Not yet because I've been on the road and I want to see it with my daughter.
Okay,
My
then
daughters too.
we can't talk about
That's
a certain
not true.
thing.
Okay,
But
okay.
I've known about
You
the
can't.
movie for 4 years.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And
Takes that long.
I've had to be quiet about it for 4 years.
Was that tough for you? Yes.
When everybody asks
wanna scream it from the rooftops?
every single day, every day,
Yeah.
are you part of the movie? Is there a movie happening? What's the movie like? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just helping with press and publicity.
Right.
So yeah, the movie is gorgeous.
It is.
Everybody go see it.
Go see it.
No,
It's-
yeah, you need
please.
to go see it. It is a gorgeous film.
I
So the
haven't.
director is a very good friend of mine, Robbie
Okay.
Marshall, and his husband, John DeLuca. They're both the producers, and Rob goes by Rob now, but
Just
I know
Rob.
him as Robbie. We've been friends for over 40 years.
Right.
Is the director. Brilliant director. And he paid such beautiful tribute. I'm doing more signing and less talking.
No, that's okay.
He did
I
a
want all of
beautiful
it.
tribute to our film
Yes.
by taking our film and just really respecting it and
It seems like that,
loving
yeah.
on it. And he kept all of the, shot by shot, the most important moments that everyone needs to see.
Did it still carry the magic
Yeah.
that everybody has
It's
for that film?
beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful film. I'm so proud of them, and the cast is incredible. Hallie does an amazing job.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear.
Yeah, and just the sweetest. And, so everybody thinks that we just met.
No, but that's not the case.
At the premiere in
Which
Los
you looked
Angeles.
amazing. You look very so stunning at the premiere.
You.
You look really, really nice.
I got to tell you about that dress.
Tell me.
So I'm going to tell you about that dress.
I want it all.
So
all the
2
details.
years ago.
All the details.
2 years ago, a designer from Australia, a couture designer from Australia, reached out to me and said,
wow.
I am a huge Mermaid fan. This movie changed my life. I want to design your dress for the premiere. And I'm like, well, it's another 2 years or more away.
Right.
Sure, that's amazing. So he came up with this idea of putting the lyrics and the names of beloved people encrusted and embroidered in crystal all over the gown.
Right.
But you wouldn't know unless you came up and I, actually showed it to you. But
it's like really in the fine details.
It's so gorgeous.
That's beautiful.
And yeah, it was just a really, really sweet moment to go to the premiere with everybody who had passed on in our cast.
Yeah.
And Howard's name and Alan's name, and then all my favorite lyrics and my favorite lines are all embroidered on it. And it truly was like a magical princess night.
You speak about it so passionately, and I see the joy.
Sweet.
I can hear the joy in your voice.
Yeah.
Was it an emotional movie to hear
gosh.
Emotional moment to hear the first song in the movie?
Well, I started crying when I got on the carpet.
You did?
So, yeah. The second I walked
You don't seem like somebody that cries that quick, do you? Just like this?
I cried very easily.
Just easily?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well,
especially
I do too.
Emotional types of things, and like floods of memories, and not to have Howard
of course.
there.
Of course.
Was it was a real mixed emotional time for Alan Menken and myself. I mean, when we saw each other, we both cried, and it was just a really special night.
It had to be.
I cried the whole time on the carpet.
Happy tears.
And then I sat with one of my two directors, the original directors, Ron and John. I sat with Ron Clements. He sat next to me for the whole film. And I just watched him watching the film so many times because he is the person who pitched the movie to the studio in 1983.
Okay.
So on this single piece of white paper, he jotted down what the movie would be like and what it would sound like and his thoughts about it. And then he wrote a bunch of dialogue for it as well in there. And he turned to me in the middle of the live action screening, the premiere, and he said, I can't believe they kept so many of my lines.
Ooh.
Those are my lines.
Yep.
We're talking all those years ago. And I looked at him, and afterwards I said, you know what, Ron? Look at this Dolby Theater that is completely packed. Completely packed. Not one person would be here in this room, in this theater tonight, if it weren't for you. You are the reason that we were all here. I'm like, what are you feeling? He's like, Jodi, it's so surreal. I can't even describe it.
Your awareness, I can just tell. Now I can, I've heard about how welcoming your personality is, but hearing this story from you and hearing how just aware you are of everybody. Hey, how you doing? Just how aware you are of the impact that the movie's had. It's really just a special moment for me right now to hear it from you. For real, it's great.
You're so
and I'm so happy to hear that the premiere of the movie kind of was this moment for you that it's
so
a core memory. You know what I mean? It's a core memory.
Yes,
it really is.
And I had my family with me, and it was just a very, very special night. So on the carpet, everybody thinks that Hallie and I had just met.
Right.
Which is not true.
Which is not the case. You've known her already.
Yeah, I had met her years ago.
Right.
So, but it was fun. It was really fun. We had a great time, and I got a chance to just, congratulate her in person, having seen the whole film and at the after party. So yeah, it was a really magical evening. It was so lovely.
And I love hearing about that and the experiences that have come from that. And I kind of want to transition a little bit to your book. Jodi Benson's part of my world, what I've learned from the Little Mermaid. Yeah. And this is just one of the many things that have come. Give us a little bit more detail about it, and congratulations on the success of it.
That's very sweet. I never wanted to write a book. Never in a million years. And you'll read that on the very first page. I never, ever wanted to do that.
Yeah.
But I had said no like 4 or 5 times
Right.
to the publishers. And then they came back and they said, well, what about, because I was like, no, I'm not doing a memoir. I'm not doing an autobiography. This is just too creepy for me. This is just not who I am.
Right.
And then they came back with this idea like, what if you just share some stories?
Right.
Like we make a collection of stories.
Less about, okay, I like that
where
approach, yeah.
you thank other people along the way of your journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I think I can go with that. So we have a chapter about my voice teacher in college who made such a huge impact
Everybody's
in my
made a
life,
difference, yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And my family and all the people and Howard and Alan, and it was definitely something I was much more comfortable with
Right.
than, you know, here's my life story.
Yeah.
And I didn't want it to
Definitely
be
a
a
different
tell-all or, you know, that's just creepy. Nobody needs that. And nobody wants to read that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of created like a little daily, I'm not going to say devotional per se, but you can literally just read one little story
Yeah.
and then put it down.
Right.
And then you can go back a couple of days later, but you can literally read the book.
And take whatever you take from that
Yeah.
one story and walk away and kind of process it.
And then I have like a little life lesson.
Yeah.
What I learned. And
I've learned a lot here.
Oh.
I feel like this right here is a story.
You're so sweet.
Think
You're
back.
so sweet.
Wow.
But yeah, so it's like
He really asked me if I sing. This is what he's done.
I was trying to forgive you and let it go.
Well,
You're
you know,
holding on.
here I am.
You gotta let that go, buddy.
I'm done. I've let it go. I don't know what you're talking about at this point.
So yeah, so that's kind of what I did. I sort of just
Amazing.
shared these stories, and my goal was that one person could like pick up the book
Yeah.
and be encouraged by a story, maybe think about a story, wondering, hey, you know, learn from my mistakes.
Yeah.
So I share a bunch of mistakes.
'Cause you've learned a lot on your path, I'm sure.
Many, and I'm old, and so I've made a lot of mistakes. Yeah, so it's good. Anyways,
great.
the book came out. I did what I was supposed to do,
Yeah.
and I just kind of let that go afterwards. And it's really fun. Like during weekends like this, people will come up to me and say, you know, guys, girls, everybody will come up to me and say, you know, I read your book and I was really encouraged by this particular chapter.
I love that.
I
Yeah.
share about miscarriages and losing children.
Yeah.
And so I'll have a lot of moms and dads come up and say,
Oh, yeah.
that really encouraged me, how you walked through that difficult time. And yeah, so...
Because it kind of, in a sense too, it personifies you. It lets people understand that you're not
Yeah.
just this person on the screen. You are,
Right.
you're living your own everyday battles, and you're working through your own challenges.
Right.
So it's really inspiring to hear.
Yeah, well, that's very sweet. And
Yeah.
again, I've made a million mistakes.
Yes,
don't get
of
me
course.
wrong. And I certainly don't try to show myself other than who I am.
Right.
You know, my daily goal is to be real with people, be authentic with them, be vulnerable.
Yes.
But you know, find a way that I can be light, salt, and love each and every day of my life. You know, that's kind of my daily goal. You know, it's pretty simple.
You see that? And here, where else?
Except that when I laughed at you.
Yes.
That was not being light, salt, and
You
love
know
to
what?
you. I'm
Everybody
sorry.
needs
I'm
a little
sorry,
bit of
Jay.
laughter in their life, you know, and that's okay.
You just
I'll have
caught
the
me
story.
off guard with that question. I don't know. I
think
thought
I'm just
you
gonna
were.
need a redo of that.
I thought you were
'cause,
joking, and
you know,
so I
we'll
was
go
going
with that.
along with
We'll
you.
go
Like,
along with that. You know,
yeah.
yes, I was joking. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
is this your first time behind a mic?
Oh, wow. Actually, yes, it is. They just hired me today. You know, they found me in the green room somewhere. I was in there stealing coffee when I should have been in there. Yes, they found me.
Water and unsweet tea.
And unseen tea, you know? Don't
Who
worry.
drinks unsweet tea?
I've got
Does anybody
all the
drink
snacks.
unsweet?
We're in the
Yeah,
South. I think this is like the sweet tea and unsweetened tea. That's a thing here.
Yeah.
And we've got more snacks for you in the back. Don't worry.
Yes.
Well, I
That's
can't
where
believe
I'm
that.
going next. I'm going to
yes.
snack bin.
Take them all. I got a bag for you that you can just take. Well, I've already been. I can't believe that our time here is happening so quickly.
Is it? And I'm so slow.
No,
Sorry.
are you kidding me? You've signed through so many items here.
Have I?
Quite impressive.
Oh, well,
and
thank you.
I guess one of the closing things that I wanted to ask you is, I know that you're very involved in charity work, and you're always trying to be very proactive on that. Is there anything you wanted to bring awareness to
Yes.
to people right now?
Yes, there are.
Here's your platform. Let's do that.
Thank you.
Of course.
One of the organizations I'm very passionate about is Give Kids the World, and that's in Orlando. So it is like a Make-A-Wish, but it's actually, it organizes with all other companies where they fulfill wishes of children that are facing life-threatening.
Give kids the world.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So, so I absolutely love that. You get to go down to Disney and have a magical week in Orlando and do all sorts of amazing things.
That's beautiful.
So I love that. I lost my niece 8 years ago to pediatric cancer. So Smiley for Kylie is my niece's foundation, which goes through CURE, C-U-R-E, C-U-R-E, CURE. And that organization funds research development straight to the doctors and the scientists and research specialists to find cures for all the various pediatric cancers, which unfortunately does not get a lot of federal funding, nor has the medicine or protocol changed for children over the last 40 years.
Right.
And the protocol for pediatric cancer, they use a format of medicine and treatment as if they were adults.
Okay.
And you can't do that.
Just trying to bring more awareness to... Okay.
So those are the organizations that I'm super passionate about.
Well, listen, as long as everybody here has heard it, I want to make sure that everybody gets the opportunity to support these organizations and their missions for sure. And you know, you've got a room full of your fans, people that have loved you like myself, who've grown up with you, hearing your voice. What do you have to say to all of your fans here tuning in virtually?
What would I give to live where you are? What would I pay to stay here beside you? What would I do to see you smiling at me? Where would we walk? Where would we run? If we could stay all day in the sun, just you and me, and I could be part of your world.
It's like a hug. It is like a hug, all right?
It's like a warm hug from Olaf.
The moment that, you know what I mean? How can I top that? And where else but whatnot would we have had the opportunity to hear that signature story? Now, Jodi, you've been so amazing with your time.
Oh,
We're getting ready to sign off here. Usually I like to do a sign off where I'll say, I'm sitting here, I'm Jay Stash, and I'm sitting here with, and you'll say your name. Are you ready to do this sign off?
I think I'm ready.
You got this.
I think I've got it.
We're live from Fan Expo Dallas, and where else but whatnot where we have had the opportunity to hear today's signature story. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I'm Jay Stash.
And I am Jodi Benson, the original singing and speaking voice of Ariel, the Little Mermaid.
And don't you forget it. We'll see you guys soon, right? Take care. Thank you so much for your time.
You're
amazing. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Bye.